Hello everyone, and welcome to the Super Mario 64 Task Competition 2018 Task 16. The task for this task, pretty interesting one, was in Snowman's Land. Start by warping to the tree near the whirling pond, and collect the star in the deep freeze. Each A button press after time starts will add an additional half a second to your total time. So it was a cool thing of trying to minimize A presses as well as time, while still doing ones that save over half a second. No interacting with any enemies, no grabbing anything, no shell, no warping after time starts, etc., and so forth. There were a ton of entrants to this task. A ton of entrants. Over 40. 5 DQs. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off, in last place, better luck next time, to Barry, 39th, with a time of 30.33, 72 re-records, and 2 A presses. Let's watch their run, shall we? Better luck next time to Barry. I believe this is Barry's first task. Description: CSE, get ready to get absolutely decimated. Not by you. Warps from the tree. Runs backwards. Doing some dive recovers. Just to be able to get to this slope over here to get a little bit of extra speed from that slope. Fancy movement. So much dive recovers, it's kind of crazy. Sets the camera to still. Goes around the back. Side flip, wall kicks up. Grabs the ledge, and ground pounds into the star. Great job to Barry. Getting 39th place in this competition. Doing some fancy RTA strats. Next up, in 38th place. Is that really the first person already trying to clear the save? Okay. In 38th place, Letta's. Cutting off over 10 seconds of Barry, probably by optimizing. Let's load up their run. With a re-record count of 19 and an A-press count of 5. Good job to Letta's. 26 of them. Starts off by going into the warp. Goes this way instead. Doing some dives. I should note, a hacked save state was provided, so that you don't have to worry about the moving, whatever they're called. Triple jumps up the slope, jumps with a bunch of speed to make it on top of in the deep freeze and gets the star right there. Congratulations to Letta's finishing in 38th place in this competition. Next up, in 37th place, Patachu with a time of 18.03, cutting off a full second over Letta's. The re-record count of 211 and 10 A presses. Let's load up their run, shall we? Good job to Patachu. Description: why won't anyone buy my water flavor ice cubes? Because ice is free in the US. Goes into the warp. Long jumps all the way over here. Yet another jump. Lots of jumps. Not really going for a minimal A-press run. Somehow manages to get up with the help of that. A little edge grind right there, giving him some forward speed to get up the edge of the in the deep freeze ice castle. Finishing in 37th place. Great job to Patachu. Next up, in 36th place, M14 with a time of 17.87, 900 re-records, and 6 A presses. Let's load up their run, shall we? Congratulations to M14. I believe this is also their first entry in this task. Yes, it says their entry to the task competition. Starting off with no hat. Goes in the warp, does the punch trick to get a little extra speed. Uses the trick where Mario can actually stand on surfaces without water, or with a small amount of water. Triple jumps up, does some jump kicks to get all the way over, and grabs the star. conveniently avoiding Mario's hat. Where is it, Mario? I don't know. Congratulations to M14, finishing in 36th place. Next up, in 35th place, Kama, finishing with a time of 17.87, cutting 1/10 of a second off of M14. The re-record count of 19 and an A-press count of 4. Let's load up their run, shall we? Kama 2 to be precise. He says, "Sorry, Ted." Dang. Goes over this way. Long jumps all the way up to this area with some jump kicks to be able to make it across without any additional A-presses. One A-press, a second, and a triple jump all the way up to the top, runs over the slope, and lands into the star at the very end. Great job to Kama, finishing in 35th place, with the second lowest A-press count so far. Only losing to Barry in that regard. Great job. Next up, in 34th place, Ada, time of 17.53, 37 re-records, and also 4 A-presses. Let's load up their run. Ada. Just Ada. Starts off at the top of the tree, goes down to the warp. He's going around to this way, completely different route, gets burned by the ice water there. Then just dive recovers. Does a triple jump to get up, and then jump dives to make it over the slope into the star right at the very end. Great job to Ada, getting 34th place in this competition. Just doing a better route than the previous competitors. Great job. Next up, 33rd place, Bunch of M's. Re-record count of 17.03, 887, time, sorry, of 17.03, a re-record count of 887, and 7 A-presses. Great job to a bunch of M's. Let's load up your run, shall we? Cutting off half of a second over Ada. Wait a second. I believe there might have been some M64 issues here. Sorry, give me 1 sec. A bit of a technical issue here. One of the M64s is missing. Sorry about that. Bunch of M's. Here we go, let's load this up. Rather, actually, instead of playing the correct one, it was M14 that was missing their M64, unfortunately. This is actually a bunch of M's run. Sorry about that. Bit of confusion on the tournament organizers. Great job to a bunch of M's. We're going to play M14s after the other ones. Apologies for that. M14's run was missing their M64. Sorry about that. This was actually a bunch of M's run, and they got mixed up. My fault, sorry about that. Either way, let's keep going. On to 32nd place. Enduriance with a time of 16.97, 187 re-records, and 4 A-presses. Let's load up their run. Description: spent 10 minutes trying to think of a good joke and got nothing. Unfortunate. Goes into the warp. Just doing some dives and dive recovers over here. A single jump and a slow ledge get up to avoid having the half a second penalty. Triple jumps up and then jump kicks also to avoid the penalty and falls onto the star right at the very end. Great job to Enduriance, finishing in 32nd place, being the first person to sub 17 seconds in this competition. Next up, in 31st place, Brittany, time of 16.93, 251 re-records, and 6 A-presses. Great job to Brittany, beating Endarians by, I believe, 1 frame. Let's load up their run. Fun fact about me, my real name is Andrea, Brittany is my middle name. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. It's funny, because I said it. Starts out by long jumping, just to get a bunch of extra speed, goes all the way over the corner. Dive recovers to get over here with a bunch of speed. Actually goes up inside with the help of 3 A-presses, and then goes into the star right at the very end. Great job to Brittany, getting 31st place in this competition. Or rather, Andrea, I should say. Yep, that's how you're supposed to go in it. That's how you're supposed to actually get that star, by going in the side. Either way, great job to Brittany. Next up, in 30th place, getting the first person in the sub in the 30s. Actually, I'm Jerome. The time of 16.27, 34 re-records, and 8 A-presses. Let's load up their run. Starts off by going down the tree. Gets a little bit of speed off that tree, and then long jumps. Some diving to get over to the end of the deep freeze faster. Sparkly triple jumps up. It's a bit of a minor optimization. First person to use the sparkly triple jump yet in this competition. And then goes to the star right at the very end. Great job to Jerome, finishing in 30th place. Finishing in 30th place. Great job. Next up, in 29th place. Usernames are hard, I agree. Beating Jerome by a full second. Times are coming down fast, with a time of 15.27 and 102 re-records with 5 A-presses. Let's load up their run. Nice face, Mario. Description: I'm well known for not being particularly well known. Yep. Starting off outside the tree. Speed this up, because they are trying to punch into it. There we go. Punch into the tree. Just doing some walking to avoid having to do an A-press, with a side flip to get over that relatively quickly. Triple jumping up to the top, and another jump, which makes 5 A-presses into the star, right at the very end. Great job. Usernames are hard, finishing in 29th place, first sub 30 in the competition. Next up, in 28th place, person named Underwater. The time of 14.17, a re-record count of 109 and 5 A-presses, cutting over a full second over usernames are hard. Times are really coming down fast. Let's load up their run, shall we? I know you guys are loving that Castle Free run, but we gotta load up this run. Starts off outside the warp. Has trouble getting into the warp. You can do it. There you go, Mario. Runs past the sign. Long jumps to cut the corner there. Does a very fast side flip. Cuts that corner. Jump kicks after triple jump up on top and into the star right at the very end. Great job to Underwater. Not living up to their name by staying above ground the whole time. Great job to them, getting the first sub 15-second run in this competition. Great job. Next up, in 27th place, Aegis Yeller, with a time of 14.10, 225 records, and 3 A-presses. The lowest since Barry so far. And Barry is the lowest. Let's load up their run. Aegis, there you are. Description H. Also cutting the corner, but going up the green slope over here with the help of a long jump and some jump kicks. Actually doing a jump to cut it even more. Doing a very fast double jump with the help of all that speed, letting them get high enough to get over the very top with just a double jump, and then going into the star right at the very end. Great job to Aegis, showing their advanced knowledge of SM64 mechanics. Going very fast. Next up, in 26th place, Piggies 888, time of 13.50 rather, 152 re-records and 3 A presses. Let's load up their run, shall we? Piggies 888. Description: this is my first submission to the competition. I actually did this task thrice in the process of making it. The first one I got the wrong star, and the second one I forgot to be careful with A presses. Hope this one does well. For a first submission, I'd say it did pretty well. Looks like they're going for the side flip route, except getting a bunch of speed from that slope, saving a little bit of time. Triple jumping up with a sparkly triple jump, save them a little more time, jump kicking twice, and then going into the star right at the very end. Great job to Piggies 888. Look forward to your entries and the competition into the future. Good job. Next up, in 25th place, Sunk Simp, time of 13.43, 30 re-records and 4 A presses. Let's load up their run. Sunken Simp. Description: the word none. That's the description. Goes into the warp. Which way are they going to go? Thanks for whoever that was. Doing some dive recovers, cutting the corner there. Doing some fancy stuff over that green structure. Sparkly triple jumping all the way up to the very top with help of all that speed. And then going in right at the very end. Thanks for the not a number host, Zach. Appreciated. And thank you for the raid, Heisenberger. Either way, great job to Sunk Simp. Doing some very fast dives right there. Next up, in 24th place, Super Watermelon 64, with a time of 13.37, 1 re-record and 4 A presses. What elite time. Let's load up this run. Super Watermelon 64. Description: re-record number is incorrect. It's actually 48. Welp. Actually 48 re-records. Starting off, looks like they're going for the side flip route. Nope, instead just goes for a jump dive to avoid having to turn around to do the side flip. Long jumping through the inside. Wow, that was faster than I thought it would be. Long jumping through the inside. Going onto the wall, doing a firstie, and then landing right on the star at the very end. Great job to Super Watermelon 64, finishing in 24th place. With the lowest re-record count so far. Just kidding. Next up, in 23rd place, Xander, with a time of 13.07, cutting 0.3 of a second off of Super Watermelon, finishing with 695 re-records and 4 A presses. Let's load up their run while looking at Princess Toadstool's castle. Description: Lotad. He only says it's a Lotad, so he doesn't feel bad about not placing that well. Setting off with a long jump, triple jumping all the way up. Just kidding, actually only double jumping. There's the triple jump with the sparkly triple jump. Only kicks once and then makes it into the star right at the very end. Great job to Xander, finishing in 23rd place. Almost getting the sub 13 seconds. Next up, in 24th place, or rather 22nd place. Went the wrong way there for a second. 22nd place, Bubisha. Time of 13.03, beating Xander by 1 frame. 455 re-records and 5 A presses. Let's load up their run. Description's probably going to be la la la, if I know Bubisha. Description: la la la, I better flip and submit this M64. Gets out of the warp, slide kicks to get a little bit of speed there. Cuts the corners, Some fancy edge grinding. Sparkler triple jumps up. Wow, that was a great run. Good job to Rubisha. 22nd place. Is doing some fancy movement and good camera manipulation to make it look cool as well. Great job. Next up, in 21st place, barely missing out on the top 20, Mr. Shots. Time of 12.83, most amount of re-records of anyone in the competition so far, with 1,126 with 3 A presses. Let's load up their run, shall we? Description: would you say I'm improving? Also, Smonkwid. Goes into the warp. Looks like he's going for the slope over here. Long jumps across. Jump kicks all the way up it. Different strat. Gets on the slope. And then does a speed kick into a double jump up to avoid having to do the slow triple jump. Makes it into the star right at the very end. I agree, that was pretty nice. I would say you are improving based on that, Mr. Shots. Great job. And now for the top 20 in 20th place. Alex X167, time of 12.63, cutting Mr. Shots also by 0.2. The re-record count of 1,763 with 6 A presses. Excited to see this run. Let's load it up. Alex. Top 20 confirmed. I agree. Faking going into the warp multiple times, and then eventually doing it. Just to troll me there. Goes all the way over here to get a bunch of speed from that slope. Sparkly triple jumps up. A bunch of speed from this green slope. Double jumps into the star right at the very end. Very unique route. What the heck was that? Let's watch that one more time. That was too good not to watch one more time. If he would go in the warp. Very unique route, getting speed from the slope up here to be able to spark the triple jump all the way up this green slope. Get a bunch of speed from that green slope and double jump just directly into the star. Really cool run right there. Great job to the not so bad anymore Alex. Getting 20th place. Next up, in 19th place, the other Alex, barely beating out his rival by 1 frame. Time of 12.60, 418 re-records, and 4 A presses. Let's load up their run, shall we? The battle of the Alexes. Alex Palex won this one. Description: okay, this is epic. Doing some dive recovers. C-up trick to get a bunch of speed. Interesting strat right there. First person I've seen do that. Triple jumps up, and then jump dives into the star right at the very end. Doing his submission in 35 minutes. Great job, Alex Palex. Still getting in the top 20. Next up, in 18th place, Fifth Dispense, at the time of 12.43, 391 re-records, and 3 A presses. Let's load up their run, shall we? Congratulations to Fifth Dispense. Going into the warp. Going for the corner right here. Over with a jump dive, but gets a bunch of speed from the slope, conserves it with some speed kicks. Whoa, nice wall kick right there. Didn't even consider that myself. Great thinking wall kick right there by Fifth Dispense. Cool run. Just getting up there with the help of 2 jumps. Great job to Fifth Dispense, getting 18th place. Next up, in 17th place, beating Fifth Dispense by 1 frame, Brett. Time of 12.40 and 1,117 re-records, also with 3 A presses. Wonder how you can beat that great run. Let's load up Brett. Description: chicken nuggets. With runs like that, not even making it to the top 10, I'm also hyped for him. Getting a bunch of speed just from that slope. Slide kicking over here, punching up the wall, jumping over with one jump and then diving at the start at the very end. These runs are crazy now. What was that route, Brett? That was ridiculous. Great job. As Kay's always says, great job to Brett for getting 17th place. Next up, in 16th place, Not Plush. Congratulations, Not Plush. That's the first time you've been in the top half. With a time of 12.17, 3,439 re-records, also with 3 A presses. Let's load up their run, shall we? Just kidding, Not Plush. I know you've been in the top half multiple times. Yada yada yada. Description, let's all take a moment of Cosmic Z to remember the dog. Starts off by running over here. Going just for the jump dive. Just doing fast movement with the double jump to get up to the star right at the very end. Probably holding A that whole time. Yes, big brained Tasser. I agree. Congratulations to Not Plush for getting 16th place in this competition. Next up, in 15th place, Jongyang, also doing particularly well with a time of 11.47, a time cut of 0.7 over Not Plush. Re-record count of 2,723 with 4 re-records. Let's load up their run, shall we? Congratulations to Jongyang, also doing pretty well. Description, this was in a finals week for me, so I didn't have enough time to do it. I'd say you still did pretty well. Jumping off the tree, faking going into the warp, going to the warp, there you go. Diving up, going over the top, also getting a bunch of speed, even more speed, so much sliding in this. Jumping up with only a double jump, jumping one more time, and then diving right at the very end. Great job to Jongyang, getting 15th place. Another huge time cut to him. Next up, in 14th place, Speedy Cubed 64 with a time of 11.33, 777 re-records, and 4 A presses. Yes, for a simple task as this is, it is very interesting. I'm liking the routes that we're seeing here. Let's load up Speedy Cube's run. Description, do not order the SM64 Happy Meal at 3 AM. K's came to my house. Wow, that's crazy. Goes down the tree, fakes going down the tree, fakes going down the tree, then eventually finally goes down the tree. Doing some running over here, long jumps across, does a jump kick with a sparkler triple jump, gets a bunch of speed, and then dives all the way into the star right at the very end. Great job to Speedy Cubed, truly living up to his name. Of, you know, Speedy. That was there. Getting 14th place in this competition. Next up, in 13th place, the unlucky number, Iwer Sanch, barely beating Speedy Cubed by 1 frame. That's so close. Time of 11.30 and a re-record count of 899 with an A-press count of 3. Let's load up Iwer Sanch's run. Congratulations to Iwer, being the unlucky participant to this round. Description. At this point, I have no idea which one of my descriptions will be in the final submission. Doing the punch trick. Going for the green slope. No, cuts it. Doing a speed kick and a double jump to get on top of the structure, and then gets the star right at the very end. Great job to Iwer, getting 13th place in this competition, beating Speedy Cube by 1 frame. So close. Next up, in 12th place, getting close to the top 10, Ghana D, the legendary Tasser. Legendary, helped on 1 key, this guy. With a time of 11.20 and 792 re-records with an A-press count of 4. That's right, the legend returns. Let's load up their run. Description: I wish I had a hyperbolic time chamber. Don't we all? Thanks going to the warp. Nice K's sound glitch right there. K's actually in the chat. Cancels the slide kick with the slope. Sparkler triple jumps up all the way up to the top. And just double jumps all the way into the star right at the very end. Great job to Ghana D. Finishing in 12th place in this competition, barely missing out on the top 10. What do you mean, K's? That's your sound glitch, right? Right? That was a great job. Next up, barely missing out on the top 10. Better luck next time to Can Kicker 8, beating Gandhi by 1 frame with time of 11.17, a re-record count of 1,641, and 2 A-presses. Let's load up their run. So close, Can Kicker. Oh man, that one hurts. Somebody's got to do it. Description: friendly reminder that Mav is winning. Don't know what that means. Goes into the warp. Does the punch trick to get a bunch of speed. Long jumps up the slope with help of a bunch of jump kicks. Whoa, see up trick to get a bunch of speed. Double jumps into the star right at the very end. Great job to Can Kicker, getting 11th place in this competition. That C-up trick basically made the run, yeah, that was sick. Is that the best? I believe that's the best. That's the lowest A-press count so far of 2, other than Barry, who also had 2. Great run. Next up, for the top 10, coming in 10th place, Rush 57, with a time of 10.70 and 3,135 re-records, also with 2 A-presses. Let's load up their run, shall we? Congratulations to Rush for making it into the top 10. Not gonna read that, but it's a joke about nonsense. So just being angry at him nonsense. Goes into the warp. Gets a bunch of speed, jumps with all of it to conserve it even more. More speed from the slopes, speed kicks, double jumps up, and then kicks into the star right at the very end. Great job to Rush 57. Let's watch that one more time before he deletes all my save files. Yes, this is another 2. Let's see where we can figure out where they are. Here's one of them, obviously, to get a bunch of speed. Jumps another one right there, and then just kicks their way into the star right at the very end. Great job to Rush, getting 10th place in this competition. Next up, in 9th place, Tomato Bird 8. Time of 10.53 and 1,119 re-records, also with 2 A-presses. Every single person has had 2 A-presses in the top 10 so far. This is getting interesting. Description: does Ted still read these? No, I don't. Goes into the warp. Punch tricks to get a little bit of speed. Long jumps across. A little bit of jump kicks. More C-up tricks, but a more direct route to just go all the way into the star with a jump dive. Help of C-up getting a bunch of speed from that slope. Great job to Tomato Bird 8. Let's watch that one more time, using C-up to the fullest. Going up over the top here with a couple jump kicks and a long jump. C-up to get a bunch of speed, and then just jump dives right at the very end. Great job to Tomato Bird, getting 9th place in this competition. Next up, in 8th place, Skepix, with a time of 10.50, 5,050 re-records, also in 2 A-presses. This is actually really funny that everyone has had 2 so far. This is the 4th 2 in a row. Let's load up their run. Skepix actually beating Tomato Bird by 1 frame. This is getting close. Comes down to sheer optimization at this point. Goes into the warp. completely different route. Going over the top, probably getting a bunch of speed. Yep. Speed kicks to conserve it all the way over here. Double jumps up, and then kicks one more time to get into the star right at the very end. Great job to Skepex. Let's watch that one more time. Watching all the top 10 twice. Except for the winner, obviously. That gets multiple playthroughs. Goes up over the top, gets a bunch of speed from the help of that dive. Speed kicks to conserve it all. And then just gets up with one double jump, one more kick, and gets into the star right at the very end. Great job to Skepex getting 8th place in this competition. Next up, in 7th place, Dylan Stij, the legendary Project MKDasher. Also beating the previous person by 1 frame, but instead of 2 A presses, he uses 8 with a time of 10.47 and a re-record count of 1,200. 8, that's a lot. Let's load up this run. I'm excited to see the fancy techniques he does with all of his 8 A presses. Description, kept you waiting, huh? Does a bunch of kicks. C-ups. And then double jumps and goes into the star. What? Why did he kick so much? What the heck? What happened? Did he... what? Oh, that was an error on the, Sorry about that. That was actually an error on the fact... That was an error on the fault of the results. He actually only used 2 A presses and just managed to eke out 1 more frame. So that is yet another person with 2 A presses. That is 5 in a row. Crazy. Let's watch that one more time. Sorry, Dylan, only 2. There's 1. Here's the second, and just goes right into the star right at the very end. You guys are mad about that? Yell at Brett. That was Brett's mistake. But in the meantime, great job to Dylan, getting 7th place in this competition. Next up, in 6th place, barely missing out in the top 5, but still doing very well, CSZ, time of 10.33 and 12,435 re-records, also with 2 A presses. Let's load up their run, shall we? Looks like 2 A presses is the way to go. Going a completely different route. Gets a bunch of speed and conserves it in that corner. More direct speed kicks, double jumps up, and then dives into the star right at the very end. Great job to CSC. Make sure not to guess if you know who's left. Don't want any spoilers. Either way, great job to CSC. Let's watch that one more time. Running over to the side here to get a bunch of speed from that slope. Stuck in that corner for a bit to get a little bit more speed, and then jump kicking across, double jumping, and getting into the star right at the very end. Great job to CSC for getting 6th place. And now for the top 5, coming in 5th place. Nonsense, living up to the 5s in his name, finally. Time of 10.17, 1,972 re-records, also with 2 A presses. Can we get an entire 2 A press top 10? That would be incredible. Let's load up their run. Immediately goes into the warp. Punch tricks. Gets up on this slope with the help of C-Up. This is new. Conserves speed all the way over. Goes onto the green slope and jumps all the way into the star right at the very end. Completely different route. Completely different C-Up route than some of the earlier competitors. Great job to Nonsense. Let's watch that one more time. If you guys not notice, I'm intentionally not mentioning the camera. Because that was awful. Change the camera every frame. But C-Up's on this slope to make it look good. gets on the green slope and then jumps at the very end. Great job to Nonsense, getting 5th place in this competition, even if it looked like something else. Great job. Next up, in 4th place, Aj, getting the first sub 10 of this competition with 1 A-press. That's right, only 1. This is the lowest amount so far. Barely missed out on the top 3, better luck next time, but still, let's load up their run. This is getting crazy fast now. Where are you, Aj? There you are. Goes into the warp. Where's he going to use his 1 A-press? Goes past the tree. Gets on the slope a little bit. Dive grinds up. Does the C-up trick and jumps all the way back there with a ground pound to get the star right at the very end to fall a little bit faster. Great job to Aj, getting 4th place in the first sub 10 in the competition. Let's load that up one more time. Don't know about that ground pound, yeah, I agree, but still. Great job to Aj. He might have gotten too much speed and needed the ground pound to stop it, but he probably could have dived or something. I don't know. Either way, great job to Aj for getting 4th place in this competition. Doing very well. Very, very well. Great job. Next up. Next up. In 3rd place, getting the top 3, the bronze medal, Nis, cutting over half a second off of Aj with a time of 9.43 and 4,999 re-records with 2 A-presses. Let's load up their run, shall we? Good job to Nis. I believe doing better than in the Super Mario Star Road test competition yesterday. Description: Ligma. Why did I read that? Starts off by going all the way over here, completely different route, getting a bunch of speed from the C-up trick on this slope, conserving it all with punching and then double jumping into the star right at the very end. Big cut. Look at that route. That route is crazy. Nis truly showing his mastery of how to get around the levels. Getting 3rd place, yet another bronze medal for Nis. Let's watch that one more time. Goes all the way over here to get speed from this slope. Punches to conserve it, and then just double jumps right at the very end to get a bunch of speed, or a bunch of height, get all the way in at the very end. Great job, Nis. Changed my state of mind. Love's so hard to find. I agree. And now, for the 2nd place competitor, you've known him for a very long time. In 2nd place, MKDasher with a time of 9.13 and 1,555 re-records with a total of 2 A-presses. Make sure not to say if you know who it is. Make sure not to say it if you know who won. Description: Rusty. Goes into the warp. Looks like going for a similar route as Nis, but takes it a little bit of a sharper cut. A very similar route, actually, funnily enough. Just manages to optimize it a little bit better, get the C-up speed a little bit faster, saving 0.3 seconds over Nis. Let's watch that one more time. Congratulations to MKDasher for another medal in this competition. Doing particularly well. All the way over here to get that C-up speed, punching, double jumping, going into the warp right at the very end. Great job to MKDasher getting 2nd place in this competition. And next up, for the winner. The winner, that's right, the winner of the Super Mario 64 TAS competition. Task 16. That's right, in first place. The one, the only Luke Soward! Just kidding. Actually in first place, Dargos. Time of 8.90. 4,533 records. And 2 A presses. That's right, a sub 9 in this competition. That's crazy. Let's watch this run. Congratulations to Dargos for yet another gold medal. Truly earning this victory. Going into the warp. Punching. Looks like he's going all the way over here. Punching on... Whoa! Getting a bunch of speed from those punches. Very original route. Going all the way over. Just getting the speed there with some punches. What the heck? It's called hyperspeed punching, I believe. That is actually a very new technique. Discovered recently, I believe. Hyperspeed punching. Let's watch that one more time. Showing his mastery of the game. Only person to use this in the whole competition. Gets over to this slope and punches to get a bunch of speed. Lands on the green slope to get even more, and then goes into the star right at the very end. Great job to Dargos. Let's watch that one more time. I'll see if I can explain a little bit what's going on here. Essentially, when you punch in water with a certain thing, you can get a bunch of speed. Similar to the C-up trick. So instead of having to go up to the C-up trick, you can just get it all right there. Goes over to the green slope and double jumps right in the very end. Thanks, nonsense. Yeah, we're watching this one in slow-mo. Watching this one in slow-mo one more time. Does the punch trick to get a little bit of speed. Gets up here. You can see Mario's actually going crazy fast right here. Jumps all the way past the slope. Jump kicks. And double jumps right at the very end. All the way into the star. Here we go. Great job to Dargos for winning another task competition. Getting first place. With a crazy run, a strat no one else even considered. What is that? Nice link, Faustus. Great job to Dargos, but don't leave just yet. We still have a couple things to see. That is the DQs. People that entered but were disqualified. DQ number 1. Actually, Luke Soward. Sorry, he was one place off, who interacts with enemies and collects the wrong star. Oh yeah. That's right. We need to send M14's run, because his was not actually included, unfortunately. We'll watch his after the end. In the meantime, let's load up Luke Soward's run. Starts off by going into the tree, going into the warp. Not allowed to interact with enemies. There you go, disqualified right there. Not allowed to get on. Unfortunately, getting the wrong star. The double DQ. Unfortunate to Luke Soward. Not even really doing the task. Nope. Well, that happens sometimes. Oh man. Next up, also DQ'd, Spaceman64, who uses the wrong warp. He manages to wrong warp. Oh, never mind. There's his run. Sorry, Luke Soward was... I guess he was only DQ'd once. Because he did technically use the enemy. But he used the enemy after warping, so... wasn't even paying attention to it. Congratulations, Luke Soward, for still managing to DQ yourself. Managed to do it. Tried to bait us, but now you're still DQ'd. Spaceman64, who warps the wrong way. Description: when you pull a push door and the person behind you says you have to push it, hey, cheers, lad. The next plan was to start lifting from the bottom. Goes into this warp. Unfortunately, goes the wrong way. That way you can just go on the slope. Yeah. Speed kicks and double jumps up right at the very end. Great job to Spaceman64, but unfortunately, make sure you read the rules a little bit better that next time. It was a sick task, I agree. Just unfortunate that he went the wrong way. Next up, Uganda Knuckles, who warps after the time starts, not allowed to warp again. You were only allowed to warp once. That was explicitly mentioned in the rules. Only allowed to warp to start your run. I'm not going to read that. Not allowed to do this. Not that. This is banned. Because otherwise people will just warp back and then make their way to the star with the help of the slope. Or just, you know, long jump over there. And walk and go in the middle. Climb up. And ground pound into the star right at the very end. Congratulations to Uganda Knuckles. Unfortunately, don't warp after time starts. Read the rules next time. Next up, Nathan 10 Nathan. He missed the start. He missed deleting the save file. I just want to point that out. He missed. He didn't even get it right. Oh, man. Ugh. But anyways, next up, Nathan 10 Nathan, who was unfortunately disqualified for strat talking. That is, he mentioned, I believe it was, can you double jump up to the top of In the Deep Freeze Star? Multiple times. Unfortunate to Nathan 10 Nathan. I believe I'm actually missing his M64. Unfortunate. So I guess we'll watch that one in a little bit. Or rather, he will not be shown because he strat talked. Sorry about that. Make sure you don't strat talk, everybody, and next time. Next up, Hiatu, who also collects the wrong star. This attempt 2. Unfortunate. Goes in the right warp, but unfortunately it looks like he's gonna go over here. No, where's he going? Which star is he collecting? Side flips up. No, why are you going over here? No, you don't need to do it. Kicks up the slope. Has to do more kicks to be able to get over without losing any speed. Then ground pounds into the box star. He was so close! No! Oh man, better luck next time to Hiatu, who unfortunately collected the very wrong star. And now, for the final submission of the TAS Comp Task 16, Adil, who unfortunately didn't finish. Very unfortunate. His task is only 4.7 seconds long. Description: if you watch the Super Mario 64 TAS BBC Task WIP, you should. That was a lot of acronyms there. Starts his run. And that's it. Let's watch that one more time just to confirm. That's it. That's the run. That's the whole thing. I agree, that was a sick tree dance. Should have won in my opinion. I don't know why he was DQ'd. Why they were DQ'd. Great job to Adil. Unfortunately, next time, send the right file. That's what I believe happened. They sent the wrong file. But that is actually it. That is the end of the Super Mario 64 Task Competition Task 16. But we still have one thing left to show off. That is the next task. Let's see what this one is. The next task revealed right now live. Task 17. In Bob on Battlefield, jump off Koopa the Quick's pole. Collect 4 red coins and end by entering any cannon. You have to jump off the pole with A, no interacting with any enemies, and no breaking cap boxes before time starts, as well as no BLJ. The deadline is September 1st at 10 PM GMT, and it is a solo task. That's the task next time. M14 submission was actually the same thing. They were actually put into the results twice, unfortunately, because of a miscommunication on the behalf of the tournament organizers, unfortunately. So they were shown off. I believe their faster time was what they actually got. The first M14 was not an actual participant. But in the meantime, thanks everyone for watching. I'm looking forward to all of your submissions to the Task 17. Join the Discord. Join those Discords right there if you want to see the task comp. In the meantime, I'm 11059, signing off.